Greetings, everyone. It's Pastor Martyred again with this week's part of the book of Acts and the reading challenge for the summer. The story that occupies our attention in the book of Acts this time is when Philip, the disciple of Jesus, encounters an Ethiopian who is headed home. Philip gets there by the Spirit's power. That's amazing in itself. But then their conversation is what really draws us in. The Ethiopian apparently has been to worship in Jerusalem. He has been interested in finding out more about God, the one true God. And he asks Philip, what do I need to do here? What do I need to know in order to be with God? How can I become a follower and know who God is because of Jesus? It's pretty astounding that someone would ask those kinds of questions, that would want to know, and Philip ends up baptizing him right there and then. They discuss quite a bit more. There's some sharing of the faith that goes on, and then they part ways. We don't know if they ever met up again. It's probably not likely, but it's just a great example of how the Holy Spirit literally moves people and puts us where we need to be in order to carry out God's mission. We may not think about that day to day, but where you are, whatever kind of vocations you might have in your life, parent, child, teacher, student, worker, boss, part of a civil realm, a citizen, or maybe even a leader in government, whatever your vocation, wherever you happen to be in life, God has you there for a reason. And He's ready to work through you and work through those vacations too sometimes, but vocations, to let people know about Him, to let people know how great His love for them is. Now, you might not have somebody who just comes right up and asks you, well, how do I know God? Or could you baptize me? That may or may not happen. That's not as obvious these days. But you may get into a conversation with someone where you work, or where you live, where you play. And you might find yourself answering some serious questions, just like Philip did. Be ready for that. And maybe even expect that to happen. Because the same Spirit that led Philip and the Ethiopian together and connected them in that moment is ready to do that kind of connecting with you and someone else in your life. Be open to it. And look for it. God's always giving us opportunities. As you read and continue reading through the book of Acts, remember that it is really the act of the Holy Spirit, that He's the driver behind all these amazing stories we're reading, and that He is the driver in the amazing stories of our lives these days. Once again, I hope and pray that you have a really restful summer, that the kinds of things you love to do, you find time to do. The people you want to, need to spend time with, you're able to do that. And as God allows, even to travel, maybe seeing different places or going with family on a trip. Pray that it would be a blessing to you and to all. I want to remind you, though, that coming up in a few short weeks, we have another one of our special worship times at Grace. On July 17th, we're gathering at 10 o'clock in the FLC for a praise service and then a picnic to follow. Now, at the service that day, among other things, we're looking forward to hearing from our youth and their leaders about their recent trip to the youth gathering in Texas. So I know it'll be a great day. And we've got people ready to barbecue for us. There'll be more information coming out in a week or so, but get ready. Mark it on your calendars. July 17th at 10 a.m. Great day to celebrate, to enjoy some time together, good food, fellowship, worship. It's going to be great. Look forward to seeing you each Sunday, but then again on the 17th, a special day here at Grace. God bless.